always hear wherever you travel in the world, calcium is so important, limestone is so important. You know, that's where they feel they get these vibrant Chardonnays, right? And the Pinots, and
there's something important about
that. If
that.
you can help us understand that, it would be awesome.
There's something important about this. We don't have limestone at the valley. The limestone is at the mountains.
Yes.
We have calcareous soil that came from the limestone.
Right.
But there was a transformation in the middle. First. Second, calcareous soils are not the best soils in the world. But if the style of wine that you like is about tension, texture, it's the place that you need to go to. That doesn't mean that you cannot make a great wine over this. You can, but the expression will be different. If you're looking for this mineral texture, you need to go there. There are people talking about minerality, which is a weird concept. It's difficult to understand. Some people think that the vine growing over this, the vine root will absorb the minerals, and the minerals will go to the wine and you will drink the minerals. The only thing we are sure about is that that thing is not happening.
No,
okay?
you cannot show that. The minerality content in the grape is not higher.
It's exactly, the vine is not stupid. The vine is not pumping up from the soil anything that is not necessary.
Yeah.
So if I put tons of
Makes
calcium
sense.
on the soil,
Yeah.
the vine will not take it up.
No.
It doesn't need it. So nature is much wiser than that. While it happens, I have an idea, personal idea about this. Imagine that you walk with your naked feet on top of different surfaces. You walk on top of the grass, you walk on top of a carpet, or you walk on top of stones or warm sand on the beach. You will experience different sensations, and your body will react differently. If you're walking on the grass or the carpet, you will feel comfortable, no pain. But if you walk on top of sharp stones, you will feel pain, and you will want to run away from that place. Stress. Okay, so there is a reaction in your body, but your feet are not absorbing the grass or the carpet or the stones, but the reaction is still there. The vine is the same. The vine is not absorbing, but there is a reaction. The roots are being stimulated by this, creating different levels of hormones. There is a particular hormone called cytokinin, goes up through the sap, goes to the leaf, and in the leaf it changes the machinery of, for example, tannin production. So the signal says, okay, this is the tannin chain, let's make it shorter. So the tannin finally you will feel the tannins differently in your mouth. When you have that reaction, it's not about absorption, but it's about reaction. There is a reaction, we know that, but science cannot prove how the process is.
Not quite as simple as you would think on the surface.
Exactly.
What about though, are limestone soils generally higher in pH?
Well,
and does that have the pH of the soil have an influence on what happens inside the plant?
Actually, if you were a vine, you wouldn't like to be planted on a limestone soil, because of the pH. For every plant in the world, the best pH is the acid pH. If you go to 5 something, that's great, because you can dissolve all the minerals. Over this, the pH goes to 8, which is too high. So the vine cannot take up the iron, the phosphorus, and sometimes the magnesium. So if the pH is just too high, the vine suffers. So this is nice for the wine, but if you want to make crispy, vibrant wine, you need to help the vine to work on top of this. With your fertilization, with your irrigation, with your pruning techniques, trying to improve the vigor of the vine, trying to make the vine happier. Because over this, the vine gets a little bit sad. And sad vines lead to unpleasant wine. So we prefer a viticulture of happy vines.
So you always hear about stress is good for vines.
I don't believe that at all.
Okay.
It's a personal, it's a team decision. We do know that stress exists and works, but if you plant your vines in an environment like this, with this high altitude UV radiation, with this calcareous stony soils, the vine is already
But maybe
struggling.
everything is relative in life, right?
Absolutely.
Maybe when you plant a grape in this variety, you already come with a certain amount of stress.
Absolutely.
You're going to put more stress on that.
If you put more stress
Yeah.
on top of
To
that,
counterbalance.
the first thing that you will lose is the acidity in the grape.
Exactly.
If you like fresh wine,
Yeah.
don't stress your vines,
No.
okay? Because you're looking for concentration, but you're losing acidity, you're losing freshness, you're overripening the grape, you're gaining alcohol level, you're gaining sugar, along with the tannins and the color. But Malbec on this area, it doesn't need more color, it doesn't need more tannin, the tannin structure is there.
Yeah.
The change, the paradigm shift is starting to look for structure instead of concentration. When you look for concentration in the wine, you need to stress, you need to do green pruning, bleed in the wine, whatever. If you are looking for a structure which is not the same, you need to go to the place. I need to work to improve the acidity in the grape. Improving the acidity in the grape is about having more vigorous vines, happier vines, more shaded canopies, harvesting earlier. It's a lot of techniques in order to preserve the freshness of the fruit.